This is the early extension swing characteristic. Now this is an important one because 70% of all golfers have this. 99% of PGA Tour players don't. It's a huge correlation for great ball striking. And here's how you identify it. Basically what you're going to do is get in your setup position. In your setup position, we're going to draw a line, a reference point on your tailbone, pretty much straight down. Now your pelvis is an ellipse. So during your golf swing, what we should see is your right front pocket should turn, and we should see your right back pocket move behind that line. At no point should we see daylight between you and that line. So again, we should see you turn behind that line. Now in transition, you should stay on the line, and your left butt cheek now should turn behind the line. So at no point should I ever see daylight between you and that line. If, however, during your swing, you notice that there's daylight, you move off the line, and on the downswing, if you move off the line, in fact, at any point during your swing, if there's daylight between you and that line, then you're considered to be early extending. This is called get closer. This is a great way to get rid of your early extension. If you happen to move closer to the ball in the backswing or the downswing, then you actually need to get closer to the ball. Many of you will cheat. You'll get further away from the golf ball so that if you do extend or move closer to it, it'll make it easier to hit it. But that actually doesn't help you. So what I want you to do is I want you to practice taking your normal setup position, and then I simply want you to step a golf ball closer. You're going to feel like you're very close to the ball. You might even address the ball more in the hosel or the neck of the club, which is fine. What you're going to do now is you're going to make some slow, smooth swings where on the downswing, you're now encouraged to move your lower body back towards your heels and create some space and hit the ball in the center. So I want you to address it on the heel, but I want you to hit it in the middle of the club. And that way, it's going to help your early extension. This is called the picket fence drill. This is a great drill for those of you who have early extension. So if you're one of those players that during your backswing or your downswing, your tailbone moves closer to the ball and you extend, so this is flexed forward. If you extend on the backswing or if you extend on the downswing, we call that early extension. Here's a great drill to help you with that. We call it the picket fence. So basically you're going to set up as if you've walked up to a picket fence. This picket fence would be in front of me. Now I can hinge and reach over the fence to address a golf ball. During my backswing, at no time do I want any part of your body to hit the picket fence. So on the backswing, you should be behind the fence. On the downswing, you should be further behind the fence, but your chest should stay over the fence. This is a great feeling for keeping your lower body underneath you, creating space for your arms, and it's a great way to get rid of early extension.
This is half kneeling bounce pass. What you're going to do is you're going to get a medicine ball. And I like one that bounces, but not too easy. Something where you're going to have to use some effort to make the ball bounce in the air. Jason's going to demonstrate here. You're going to get down in the half kneeling position. Now you're going to bounce towards the knee that's down. Take a medicine ball. We're using a 6-pound medicine ball here. And Jason's going to demonstrate. You're going to hold it up over your right shoulder and you're going to bounce it straight into the ground and try and get it as high as you can. You want to really try and make them bounce over your head. So when you're doing this at home, you try and bounce this thing into the ceiling. Good. Notice how good he's staying stable in his posture. There's no slouching, bending forward. And what you really want to do is you want to try and start moving backwards so you can kind of bounce it behind you, almost 45 degrees behind you. And then we would go ahead and switch and get the other side. That's half kneeling bounce pass.
This exercise is called disassociation planks. This is a great exercise for your golfers to understand the loading and unloading phase in their golf swing. So we get into a plank position like so. Now, I want your belt buckle to face the floor and stay facing the floor the whole time. Open up your chest as big as you can. This is like your backswing. For a right-handed golfer, I'm loading into my backswing. As that hand comes back down, I'm going to drive my right knee to my opposite shoulder. That's how we initiate our downswing. We get the pelvis to move first and then the upper body. So we're going to load into a backswing and initiate downswing. Then we do the other side. Back and forth, work both sides, feel the disassociation plank. Make sure that your lower body is stable while you move the upper body, your upper body is stable while you drive the lower body.
This is called search and destroy with a calf stretch. Okay, this is a great exercise to get ankle mobility. Ankle mobility is so important in the golf swing for maintaining posture, for being able to do things like squatting, bending down, all those things. It's important to have ankle mobility, but the calf tends to become the tight culprit in a lot of you, and it limits your ability to what's called dorsiflect the ankle. If you can't dorsiflect the ankle, you can't squat, you can't maintain your posture. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go after a muscle called the soleus, one of your calf muscles. You're gonna take a massage stick. Massage stick, you can get these most places on the internet, you can find them. You can also just use a 5-iron if you want, okay? This tends to be not as painful as a 5-iron, but 5-iron is very effective. You can use a foam roller, a tennis ball. What I do is I search first. I search up and down the calf looking for tender spots. If you find a tender spot, it means there's lactic acid that's built up. Anytime there's that buildup of lactic acid, it means usually there's an area of what's called relative tightness or flexibility problem in the muscle. We want to try and break that loose before we do our stretch. So what you want to do is find the tender spots. If you find one, appreciate it for a little bit. Sit there and try and work it out. Massage it out for around 30 seconds. Once you've got that spot kind of ironed out, search for some more. Go ahead and see if you can find 2, 3, 4. Don't be in a rush here. Any time you spend here will pay dividends when we get to our stretch. Really helps loosen up the calf, and you can stretch without hurting yourself, okay? Now, once you've done that, I want you to put some weight on your thigh, on your knee. Now from here, I'm gonna keep my thigh pointing directly forward. Your thigh is gonna wanna tilt off to the side. Make sure if there's a laser coming out of your knee, it's gonna point straight. Keeping that pointing straight, we're gonna keep our heel on the ground, and we're gonna lunge forward until we can't go any farther. You're gonna feel that stretch in your calf, and you're gonna hold. And you can literally hold this for 2 minutes if you want. I want you to do at least 30 seconds or do the prescribed amount of time. And I want you to hold it, don't bounce, just sit there and hold. After the prescribed amount of time, come out of the stretch, and then I like to go right back in and repeat it again. Now I'm gonna turn facing you so you can see this. Very important that my thigh stays forward through the stretch. If this is tight and you hit the wall, stop. Don't do this. Don't let your butt go out to the left, your knee go forward, or don't let your foot turn in. All of those will get around the tight area that we're trying to stretch. Really important, do the exercise properly. You can hold that for 2 minutes.